can still see them up in the top 4. I think that early phase consistency has really paid off for them.
So here we go, making our way over towards Erangel for the last game of the day. Plane is up in the air, and it's going to be going over George Pool, making its way back down next to Novo.
It's probably the most forgiving plane we've seen today, actually. So good that we're coming back. We're going to have everybody dropping into, the expected spots we see. We don't have this mishap with the Eastern plane this time around, so not expecting any mix-ups at this point unless Wildcard decide to hot drop somebody this time around, but it looks like they're going to be stretching over to 70, so no issues on that front here.
I'm in trouble, Hypok. Now, since I've mentioned the barefoot thing, every single time I see them nosedive, my eyes are instantly drawn to their feet. I'm noticing how many people are barefoot. There we go. Thank you. We now have 2 people with shoes on. I feel good about this. And also lampshades. So, well, actually, no. What happened? Yeah, it's a lampshade over there. So everybody's starting to make their drops coming into play. I mean, a little bit of a modification. We still have, looks like Rumblers were contemplating going over towards Nova, but they're just going to go ahead and shift last minute and make the push back over towards Milton Power. And everybody dropping inside their vehicles so that way they can make their way to their prime loot locations and doing the horns of hello.
But again, we've seen Lazarus, this is the second time now we've seen him come up and contest SSG directly for this north of the river spawn on I guess the flat top compound. Again, we're going back over to the east, a bit further south this time around, so good circle. Obviously, all eyes towards Envy. Obviously, they're one of our featured teams this game, so 3rd place, we're going to hopefully see them capitalize on this first circle point.
I don't trust it. There's a bridge in play inside of this circle, and we have been baited too many times, so we're going to be curious to see how a lot of these teams try to make any movements off of this. Wouldn't be surprised if Zenith stays back down there. Envy maybe moving into a little bit more of an aggressive position closer towards Milta where we do see Ghost, but Rumblers still in the air right now. A very late drop coming in for them, but they might have a couple of people that'll aggress down around them, but nobody really pushes into Milta Power or Milta Electricity, anything else like that.
No, we don't. And typically we see Rumblers, they have very linear rotations because it's very simple for them to choose their pathing into most circles. So again, I'm going to hopefully see them come north and towards Prison, but just a quick mention, this is a great circle for United, a team that I personally want to see finish today strong. They've had a really rough day today.
You can see Lazarus is making their way over towards their home of Yasnaya, going to be able to do a little bit of looting, but long rotations coming in from them as they did collect a couple of vehicles. Purdy actually separating out away, and looks like he's might be going after maybe some of those yellows to go loot at, maybe get a little bit more information for the rest of the team before they start their rotation.
I mean, based on the playing path, he's going to know that obviously the yellows a bit further over. Hilltop is obviously expected to be unoccupied. I mean, we have the benefit of seeing the map, so he is going to be absolutely right with that, but I like this. Not wasting the time going into Yasnaya and looting in the city. They're already thinking forward to kind of get into this circle.
And more territory control for them.
Yes,
while they're already inside the safe zone, this buys them more space, almost a full kilometer around them to work with.
But also Lazarus is a team that we see. They have really greedy splits in terms of their drop spots. So again, it's a team that we would expect to kind of capitalize on having this space early game.
And those yellows tend to be quite popular. If this goes back towards the north, I wouldn't be surprised if a couple of teams make a push back over towards it. Envy do have themselves a nice bit of position that they can play, but they're going to be making their way back over towards it. Hey, who would, wait.
It's 3 minutes 30.
Who would have thought? All right, so Genesis on the move. They're actually going to be passing right by Player One Esports, who's still in their looting phase, so not going to be able to take any real shots over towards them. Genesis looks like they're opting into playing the southern part of the island, and I can't help but feel this is due to the amount of random bridge jukes that we have seen.
No, but we actually did also see Genesis crash into this compound as well. I think on one of the other circles last week, Moody actually, timing-wise, is bang on the money there. Does decide to come back north, looking like he's going to try and regroup at Snake with the rest of his teammates. Genesis should slot straight into Sharkfin here and get this compound for free.
I like the modification. K-Mite stops on the motorcycle, gets a little bit more information. Taylor J does get spotted out by Sonics, who is making an aggressive push back down this hillside. So they've got a couple of people coming up back behind him, but Taylor J does manage to regroup at least with Shrew back on this, but this is fairly aggressive. Yeah, they were coming after him for a second, but Sonics do manage to look like they're going to make their way up that hillside, maybe go for Lumberyard. We see them play that area very regularly.
Yeah, Sonics, I mean, super aggressive there. Obviously, Tiggleton getting 2 knocks onto Taylor J in the car, I think, maybe opened a possibility if he was super split from his teammates, but did manage to regroup with Shrew, and they're going to pull away in the Dacia.
All right, so we got about 3 or 4 teams that haven't made it inside the safe zone yet, but Sonics did manage to move into a very I would say, a very safe position that we see them play quite frequently. Really gives them a little bit of power towards their shooters looking back down those hillsides. If we see the circle go back over this direction, which it's happened a few times.
I mean, nobody actually opted for, and I'm surprised by Ghost. Usually they would go for the 2-2 split across Milter Road coming out north, but looking like they're opting for staying much closer to Milter actual.
I like this, though.
Sonic's actually coming over and taking one of their compounds.
Being a little bit more safe in their decision-making right now, playing a little bit closer to each other in case something does go wrong. Riot Squad playing just right over next to Envy right now. Envy's kind of separated across the hill.
Up for them.
And look, they're just being patient. Two members right on the other side of this.
Oh my God.
Moody holding this point. They're quite loud as they move the vehicles.
Look at Terror and Pat.
This is so much patience coming in. Information gets fed over. Now they're just going to pop up right back behind him. There's a spray onto one. That's an easy down and flush to follow up. So Riot Squad already loses one. Moody comes alive in the background. That drops down. Leda Mystery is just trying to get away. A lot of damage coming back over towards him. And look at this.
Wow.
Envy just coming up big with an early game setup. We talked about they like to set up these traps, and it pays off in dividends.
And this is your 3rd place and 5th place team. VZ actually hitting the prone here. Gonna try and get this knock off the Pat.
And the numbers are against them. There's nowhere to go.
Oh.
It's just Envy just walks up and says, no, Riot Squad, you've been having a pretty good day, but today is ours.
Well, I mean, what a setup from Envy there. As soon as the information came in for Pat and Tero to peek, you can see them both double peek over there. First knock is completely free. Moody cleaning up that team fight so well, though.
I mean,
as time and time again, we see Moody come up in situations like that.
I want to see more of that from Envy on every map.
Yeah.
Like, you can see, they knew exactly how people were going to be coming in. They were sitting up, waiting for it. They had every vantage point covered from it. And guess what? Sonic? No, Tempo Storm. Don't go up there.
Don't do the same thing.
Don't go over there. Just keep on going. You don't want to go anywhere near them right now. But a lot of teams really clustered back around Milta. Could make for some difficult rotations depending on the circle goes.
Yeah, I mean, hopefully, knowing Tempo, they're probably going to look for the compound that's west of Sonic's on the other side of Milta Road, but you can see how close they're transitioning here to, I think Moody's going to have shots onto at least one of these vehicles as it comes past.
Don't take shots at the first one. Takes a couple of shots back over towards the second one. That's going to be Sharp Shot taking a lot of damage. Narrowly escapes, uses the hill to buy a little bit more space.
As well, though. Look at the damage done to the vehicle.
Depending on where they go, he could be in a ton of trouble. Really, anybody just has to shoot his direction, and they are opting to play back over around where Sonics has that high ground positioning, but I don't think has the sight line. So really, it's just Sharp Shot manages to get narrowly away from this as Tempo Storm is going to play down towards the base of this hill.
I like this, and obviously taking a bit more of a passive rotation, they're going to know, oh, okay, Sharp Shot.
That's confidence in your driving, you're bailing out right there. He's like, whatever, get this car away from me. I want nothing to do. Be gone.
I like that. Throw the smoking car away.
Yeah.
But I mean, risky jumping out at that speed, but I guess that was calculated.
I mean, it's smart if you think about it. Don't leave it in the dip. You don't want it to explode. Just send it away, get it away from you, and then now nobody can shoot back down that hillside and kill you with it. Ghost running their 2-2 right now. United has a couple of shots coming back over from Sonics. As you can see, Keenan's got one angle, and this is kind of the way Sonics plays this. They separate across the hillside, holding a little bit of the middle section, but also back down toward the bottom of it.
I mean, if you look at this first circle, again, we talk about centering up on first. It's not always best, but if they have a split like this, at least they have like some widespread information. They can look at other parts of the circle as opposed to other teams where we see them set up in the same spot. They don't really leave any options open for themselves.
Now, one thing I did want to note is with Riot Squad going down very early, that's going to open up the door a little bit more for Genesis, who is just scrambling to grab points and make their way up that leaderboard even more, because they're a team that's not happy unless they're in that number 1, number 2 spot. So this gives them a little bit more of an opportunity to get that space out away from Riot Squad, who has just been nipping at everybody's heels trying to get to that 3rd place position.
I mean, so also on the back of that, to teams like Rumblers as well, and Rumblers have been chasing Riot Squad in effect, obviously in the top 5, but Taylor actually trying to get some shots onto Sonics there. Tony manages to get away on the bike.
Every single time Sonics plays this position, they run very separated out, and they get away with it as new circle pops, and I don't think a single person has to move except for something. One person has to make their way in safe.
One person has to move.
All right, so everybody's regrouping now. A couple of small rotations coming in as people are trying to make their way towards the center to get a little bit that math in your favor, so that way you don't have to rotate again later, because we still have 60 alive. Keep in mind, the only people that have died right now are Riot Squad.
Actually, Wildcard, I don't know why Pistola stopped there, but he managed to get the knock onto Tetra. Fozu transitioning past. He should dip out right now. I don't know why Wildcard stopped, but also I don't know why Vanquish it here either.
They went with a seat swap, and we're doing a spray back over towards it, and I mean, it makes it easier when the vehicle comes to a complete dead stop, and they managed to get a easy kill off of it. Vanquish just keeps bumping into teams in rotation, and it feels like they're just a little bit behind everybody else in these spots.
Yeah, and actually, low-key having a line of sight down onto wildcard here. I'm not sure if they want to settle for this position right now, but I mean, this is a great late-game position, but right now, they stand to lose their vehicles and again, just get shot from 4 or 5 different other teams.
But the problem with it is there's not a lot of teams really around them to take the shots at it. Everybody has gone back down around Prison and Shelter and Lumberyard. So, here we go. Envy, you guys managed to jump out and get a trap onto somebody beforehand. Profi gets the spray back over towards Pride right as soon as he jumps out, but there were 2 members from Envy inside of it. Moody's the other one, was stepping forward. Looks like he was trying to be a little bit more aggressive. Reinforcements now coming in from Genesis. As you can see, K-Mine on the motorcycle just gunning it up the hill. Rest of Envy is starting to come in now. Rez looks like it could come through.
Nerf.
Aggressive driving coming in from Nerf. He is feeling it right now. Everybody from Genesis trying to get into an aggressive spot.
Keenan.
But it's going to be Sonic's Keenan off their earlier reposition. Nerf goes down to the 3rd party, and Envy started to carve out more and more control over this building.
Actually, yeah, Pride vaulted up onto the roof of the flat top here. Envy already up to 4 kills, so right now, this is great for them if they can clean this fight up. Nerf getting knocked from Sonics opens up a massive opportunity for them.
But I don't know, do they know who's here off of this position? No, they would know because Pride, who killed them a second ago.
Profi killing Pride, yeah.
So they would have to know the fact that Nerf is down here from the 3rd party if they were paying attention to it. PatCap's still holding that high ground spot. Couple of shots going back and forth between them. Nice connection onto H-Win, so that's going to force him to have to heal. Nerf does finally get picked up, and Sonics are like, hey, thanks for letting us have that through all of that smoke for as long as that was going on. So now we have a 3v3 close range with PatCaps being the 4th from Envy still up across that hillside. And really, Sonics not letting these guys push towards each other at all.
No, and again, this is the 3rd and 4th place team here, literally fighting over a compound over to the west side. So again, I'm hoping one of these guys can either pull back or, I mean, they can't pull back right now. Envy are fully committed to the flat top, but closing this team fight out early before the next circle shift is what's important.
You know, Genesis was so happy a second ago, like, Envy, thank you so much for taking down Riot Squad. Now suddenly Envy's right up in front of them, and Envy is just doing damage to the people that are towards the top of the leaderboard right now, and that actually pays off huge for them because that can give them the games that they can capitalize off. Moody looks like he's getting ready to throw out that grenade there, but Genesis looks to be fairly separated away from it. Shouldn't be too big of a deal. Actually, I don't even think he threw it out. He was just prepping it. Still thinking about going off to the side, but I don't think anybody's in the spot.
That could get K-Mined. That could,
oh, the bounce around for it. But Moody's still going for a very aggressive peek around that and not really getting punished for it. Look, he can run up to that building if he does so choose. So it's going to go back over. K-Mine's going to take a little bit of damage off of it, and it's just a volley back and forth between grenades while Sonics is just trying to see if they can make it a little bit more difficult for everyone. New circle does pop, and this building complex is inside of it.
I mean, that's a good thing. It gives these teams an opportunity now to reset, but PatCap's playing anchor over on the west side of this is great because obviously Sonics are defending the other side. Actually, you see, wow, Microfire getting shut down by Lobes, running in the open now. I'm not sure why, but I think he was trying to make it back to the shack, whether or not his vehicle's there, but caught way off guard there.
It looks like kind of the Rumblers were playing a little bit of separation strategy, and
he's
they were
so far
running
north
over
from his team.
Yeah, I mean, Waldo's kind of away from everybody as well, but I don't know. Now we have a lot of teams focusing down this path. Rumblers is in front of them, but it's going to be Loki and Vanquish that are pushing into this position. Looks like they're going to try to play along that hill that's just towards the east of Lumberyard.
Vanquish might catch the last vehicle here from Loki. You can see Finna already out trying to get some shots on. Fig now, though, not taking a hit just yet, but he's driving straight in towards Waldo.
Oh, it looks like he lost a tire. Waldo's also in a similar position towards him. Pax finding himself right up next to the Rumblers. Got to be very, very cautious. Moving around through this, it's gotten fairly tangled, but guess what? Player One Esports hears everything that's happening.
Look at them, they're
moving
pushing
down into this, and they might be able to gatekeep this out or just really tear into both of these teams. First shot's going to come out from Waldo, and he is going to get down Fig. So grenade's going to come out, land right over there next to Los.
Oh!
Another bounce going to go back around the outside of that, but it looks like it's just a smoke grenade. Got baited myself.
I was going to say, that was a good nade.
All right, so Player One Esports has control over the complex. Grenade's going to come over and take a little bit of damage back towards Pack. But Player One Esports not choosing to play this too aggressive right now. They're just very comfortable with having the position to capitalize.
I mean, they're the only ones in the circle right now, to be honest. P1E can play this slow from the compound. So Rumblers resetting inside their smokes. They have no incentive to push in right now.
Oh, well, it looks like, I want to say low-key, Pax actually managed to get into a vehicle. I think he's trying to get away from this, and he does finally get dropped off as David does see him. I was gonna say that's an ambitious play, to say the least, as Tempo Storm now, it looks like they've gotten caught up with Space Station Gaming back over towards the north. A couple of shots did take down Sharp Shot, but Space Station Gaming also connecting onto Sharpie. It's going to be Alo as well. Lazarus off to the side of this. So 2 members of Tempo Storm up and alive, and they do manage to make it back over next to Shelter, but this is kind of where they started, wasn't it? Like, they kind of left and they got forced back over here.
They did, yeah. Obviously, Sharp Shot taking the damage early meant they had to come into Shelter to kind of reset, but Lazarus actually getting into a position on the dirt road where they can pressure into their I guess their area in the dip we saw them occupy, but SSG pushing up. They came in very slow from the northwest side, but picking up a kill so far. One of them did get stolen by Lazarus, so unfortunate there that it hasn't fully paid off for them, but they've got themselves a foothold inside the circle now.
If you do hear shots off in the distance, that's the continue of the Envy Genesis fight, where they're just still kind of waving each other and taking a couple of pot shots from about 10 feet away. Ghost also looking back over towards Endemic right now. Ghost hasn't had to move too terribly much yet, but nobody really pushing towards him. Everybody's been playing back towards the west or back towards the east with that little bit of a skirmish that's been happening towards the north. We're just going to continue to condense down more and more around that lumberyard area, which means that this hill is all of the circle. A lot of these teams are going to have to figure out how they want to aggress up this hill.
Yeah, and actually, Lazarus looking like they wanted to push up onto Tempo, but I think they've spotted SSG, which kind of covers the overpeak onto the position that Tempo are occupying right now. Sharky all the way down inside the tunnel. Zampa playing a cheeky little prone spot on the... actually, K-Mine with a great nade there. Actually bounced straight out the window. Oh, my God.
Oh, beautiful grenade coming up from K-Mine. Gets the flush and the knock onto another one. Pat steps up. He's being pressured. He goes down as well. Now it is just Pride, and I don't even see him around right now. He's in the other building back behind this. And this is not inside the safe zone. The reason why Envy was making this push up and forward was I felt that they wanted to get the kills out of it and then use that to get back over towards the safe zone. Now Pride is in a lot of trouble as Taro is still just crawling around for it, and he's just got to pray that Genesis decides that they don't want to go after this.
I mean, Pride right now just needs to play spoiler. Maybe get an angle on one of the vehicles and wait for Genesis to rotate away, but like I said, Sonics have kept a stranglehold over this compound the entire time this fight's been going on.
And Sonics are inside the safe zone, so can continue to look back over here, get more damage off. Now, the question comes into how does Genesis handle this? They've got that solo that's going to be back behind them. They've got Sonics off to one side. Player One Esports making a drive right next to the remaining members of the Rumblers who don't want to take those shots, but now have realized, hey, we're in a 2v2. Nope, never mind. We're not in a 2v2.
Look at the mini-map.
And how did Aguila see that? Surely he had to see Cherry Poppins just sitting on the side of that, but Vicious Gaming is back behind them, so Player One Esports opts into their motorcycles. They're just going to try to continue to push through. Aguila gets dropped off. D-Treats takes a lot of damage, as well as Lamp a lot, and they're just circling through a dangerous position right now. They did manage to get close to the safe zone, but hasn't quite gotten it. With that airtime, they get so close, but it's just going to be continuing pressure coming out from Wildcard.
Yeah, Pistola and Kickstar both getting knocks onto P1E here, so they should be able to shut this rotation down. I think David is the last one up for P1E. Pistola actually trying to follow up with this nade here.
So he's going to go ahead and lob them out. It's kind of a hard spot to head into, but he manages to get it right inside the pocket. Doesn't even need the follow-up, and there's 2 more to go after it. So now Wildcard up to 4 kills, and again, more and more control around this cliffside that is so strong. Looking back over towards Lazarus, going to take a couple of shots at Luke, but he does manage to get into cover.
Yeah, Lazarus with a wide split over this circle, and actually elsewhere we are seeing SSG actually eventually push onto Temper Storm, which gives an opportunity for Lazarus to kind of take use of this space. But Rumblers now pushing onto Vanquish, and we already saw Vanquish kind of set up a trap to try and stop P1E in rotation. Right now, they're right against the edge of the blue, and they're not inside the circle.
It's a lot of smokes being thrown down as both teams trying to make it back up this hillside. You can see it's just peeking from tree to tree, seeing if they can get line of sight on anybody. Rumblers know exactly how Vanquish is going to have to move. Nice spray going back over to Perino, getting a little bit of damage. Fozu's trying to move up and forward. Now everything's on to Cherry Poppins. He's out inside in the blue. Gonna have to continue to push up this hillside, and Vanquish is just sitting there waiting for it. But there's so much smokes coming down through this right now. A lot of damage back over towards Reno. Cherry Poppins is still fine as far as the blue damage goes, but he just cannot take it for too long. I need to go back through the smokes, try to get back behind them, see if maybe he can get the spread to one. Does manage to follow it through. Can he get over to Fozu? Does manage to get it, and now he has the space to work with. He's just got to get the med off and run forward.
Great time in there from Cherry. Knew exactly how much damage he could take from the blue, but again, great peek onto them. Just had a free kill onto the back of both players of Vanquish there.
I don't know what just happened to Zenith, but E-United managed to walk away with a ton of kills there. A new circle has popped, and you can see Tempo Storm trying to figure out, okay,
Sharky's still in a cheeky pro spot, by the way.
Yeah, I mean, it's like, what do we do? He's just looking back over towards us, watching Space Station Gaming. There's Genesis that's up along the similar path, and I don't even think he has a vehicle to work with. He's just going to have to walk forward. Profi's trying to make the push back over there, but it's going to get spotted out by Baja.
H-Win is underground chasing SSG?
Maybe. I'm not going to make the assumption as of yet, but a couple of shots going back and forth between them and K-Mine. K-Mine does get dropped, so now it's just on to H-Win. So if he is underground right now, apparently that was the play to do because there is some safety to be had there, but it's not inside the circle.
No, it's not. I mean, there you go. He's out now. He just came out of the tunnel now. I think he was looking for a flank, and we've seen it done a couple of times with Shelter.
Close.
He's actually on top of J-Sank right now.
He can creep forward on this. They hear the footsteps. He goes for the spray back over
no.
to it. Doesn't get head down. Does follow through, get the down on one of them, but tries to go for the flush, and that's all he's going to get. Reza should come through, and that's going to be Genesis eliminated in 11th place.
I mean, SSG with a great opportunity to come into the circle now. They've pretty much cleared all of that side of the circle. It was actually Sharky, not Zampa, still up there. My mistake. But you can see Sharky making his way onto the dirt road. He's going to have 3 members of SSG coming up the same direction.
Well, you said you wanted a good E-United game. Well, they still got plenty of people up. They have a nice control point to play from. Lazarus holding the other side of the circle. Got a lot of positions that they can play from, kind of holding back wildcard right now as Cherry Poppins still alive, just kind of tailing back behind everything that's going on. I'm still just really impressed with that play a little while ago where he just walks back through the smoke deeper into the blue.
The fact he didn't take a bullet from either of the Vanquish players meant that he had the advantage of time. Right now, he's just praying nobody looks at him. He's kind of prone about 100 meters in the open. You can see Pistola looking over this direction. Hopefully he doesn't spot him.
No, I would say running without a weapon right next to him pretty much gives away that nobody knows he's there right now. A little bit of potential coming over here between Sonics and Ghosts as grenades are starting to be tossed back and forth. Tiggleton's playing back down the low part of the hill as the rest of Sonics are pushing through. But remember, Space Station Gaming is also coming up back behind this and could choose to third party. They've been having themselves a pretty good game so far.
I like this. Instead of SSG's option to come straight into the circle, they've opted to swing all the way south to this Wizard Tower. They're now going to be in a position where they can shoot Sonics in the back as they try and fight Ghost.
So Sonics still just surveying the side of this hill, seeing if maybe anybody's going to peek back over. The longer they sit there, just allows Space Station Gaming to get in position. Grenades are starting to come out. Does a little bit of damage back over towards Keenan, but the shots are going to come through. Tony V does go down. Now is Ghost going to try to make a push back over this? Yes, they are. Starting to step back around the low side of this. Sonics has found themselves pressure between 2 different points. Still 2 members up. Make that 1 member, and it's going to be Ghost starting to rain down damage onto Space Station Gaming. J-Sank just has to drop down onto his belly, and both teams, Space Station Gaming and Sonics, are in a lot of trouble now as Vegas walking back down through. Hitting your friend just a little bit, but did walk in front of him. That was.
But right now, Ghost, they know that SSG tried to push off onto this. They're going to try and swing all the way north. Vegas was a great shot onto J-Sank.
And so with this, now there is Sharky back behind that was watching that whole thing like, nah, bro, you guys continue to do you. Ghost starting to feel more in rhythm. Got complete control over this side of the circle.
Yeah, I mean, Lazarus have actually moved up to kind of stop. Cherry with another knock and gets Kickstart down as well.
Look at this. He is just coming up big. He is at 5 kills right now. But the problem is he's drawn a lot of attention his way. And is he going to get away from this? You have got
But look at the minimap. Endemic are pushing in. They're pushing it into an angle where they can see Wildcard.
If he can survive this up, he finally does get taken down. Wildcard does hit the shots onto it. Endemic now pushing back over towards him. A little bit more aggression coming up from Endemic. This is what we were talking about. We wanted to see, but the shots come back their direction and they start to pull back away from it.
Again, though, another situation, 4 up. They haven't picked up any kill points yet. There's only 15 other players alive. So I want to see them become active. Again, they've got the benefit of getting a couple of circles. And I'm not saying they dropped here, but rotating in, when you get 2 circles, you need to capitalize.
So now we have Lazarus running a 2-2 split as Ghost is starting to make the push up. They need to make their way inside the safe zone, but there is E-United back behind Lazarus that's taking a couple of shots at them. So McCoy has managed to make it a little bit further forward, and Dimmick still stretching out. Looks like they're on the hunt. They know that this fight happened, but they're just trying to figure out what exactly happened. How many members are alive?
It looked like they were going to swing out and try and third party it, but Bale actually shutting down Uncivil here. Kurt does find Sharky, so last solo member from Tempo up, but Ghost now looking aggressive. Stab gets a knock onto Vegas.
So with this, the smoke's come out, trying to get the reses back over for it. You can see that Uncivil is down off to the side of this. Luke realizes it's too hot, don't want to take the risk for it, so just regroups with the rest of the team. E-United does hear this. You can see Stab was starting to make his way back over here. Looks like he was wanting to third party, starting to take a couple of shots at Ghost from the side. That Ghost only really has trees to work with as they're making this push and cowering back down inside the smoke. So a third party push coming in could be huge against them.
Good hits.
Boy, somehow managing to survive through this. He does nick him, but he does survive through it. So Ghost, they've got a lot of damage coming towards him, but they have managed to creep inch by inch up into the safe zone.
I'm sorry, Kurt has balls of steel to throw that nade through that barred window, but unfortunately it's way far short. Right now, Ghost are in a position where they're trying to use this utility to get out. Kurt gets a great knock onto McCoy. Drassel flashing out on Civil, so right now, Lazarus need to solidify and hold out Ghost.
We've got Back down into a 3v3. Drassel getting to a little bit more of aggressive position. Going for the grenade. It's not going to connect into the top.
Oh!
It might have connected back down towards the bottom. Good shots coming up from Drassel. Going to get the down onto one, but Alo does return back over to that. A lot more damage coming back over to him. Going to have to pull back, go for the meds, and now it's just onto Luke. Luke has to hold back Ghost while Alo is going for the meds onto this. He's playing the low ground. Alo knows the push is coming through. He does go down. Ghost is continuing their push up and into this, but E United wants to participate. The grenades are starting to rain down back behind it. Ghost has to choose. What are we going to do? They're stepping up. It's going to hit onto Ghost. Alo holds the angle, gets it down onto another one, and that is just one member up from Ghost, and it is Vegas.
The last gun you want to see when you pick a door like that as a Groza. Alo absolutely shoving it down Drassel's throat there. Vegas in a position where I don't think
I was going to say down from the third party coming up from E United, so Ghost is done. But with this, Lazarus now has a little bit more space to play around, as it looks like E United might think that that fight's done, and they're looking around different directions.
I was going to say Vegas hasn't got any other option to push the stairs because of E United's positioning, but E United's shutting him down even before he can pose a threat to Lazarus. So Alo now going to be able to reset. He did get the res off onto his teammate upstairs, so right now they've got a bit of time to loot, maybe stock up on some utility, but I mean, great hold from Lazarus in the end there.
We have 4 teams that are still active right now. There's 2 members of Lazarus, 2 members of Wildcard. There's 4 members for both Endemic and E United. You can see how the terrain is starting to make its way through. Purdy Curry actually does manage to get away from Alo, get away from that Wizard Tower, and is going to go ahead and throw a grenade up next to Taylor J. Might be a little bit ambitious over there, but that is going to give away the fact that somebody is near Taylor. So now information being fed back over, and Alo manages to connect back over onto Taylor J. That might unlock Purdy Curdy if he chooses to get aggressive into this. They know that they need to do something with this.
Alo's running off for the nade.
I love this. This is a 2v4. Grenades are starting to come through. Purdy's got the angle off to one side. Alo's got it on the other. The grenades are going to come out, but it's just not going to be a. It's going to be a second too late. I say that. That's 2 members of E United down. Now Lazarus continuing to make the push back up. Stabs trying to retreat away from it. Alo's playing the low part of the hill. Purdy's moving back over towards the top.
Taylor's on second knock, so he's probably going to bleed.
And look, Endemic is hearing this, starting to reposition back over towards it. So E United has to be very cautious that nobody comes up back behind him. Another grenade's trying to come out. Can he get it back over towards him? It's going to be a little bit away from him. Shots now coming back from Shrew. That's up towards the top. 1 member of Lazarus is already down. It's going to be about how Shrew can find the angle, but there's so many trees.
Oh my God.
Manage to connect with it, and look at that. E United makes their way up to 8 kills.
I mean, Alo, great work there already. Shrew swinging back around onto Wolf. He was watching the flank the entire time. Endemic tried to push up.
So now it's right on top of this rock. Something's trying to make the push over towards it. 1 member of Endemic is down. So now it's a matter of what can E United do from this position. They did manage to get one of the reses back up. So Drew's still playing that high ground position as it's just a peak battle between all of these rocks. Something slowly creeping up. If E United pushes over, they're not going to have anybody expecting it, but Shrew's still just trying to hold this back, trying so hard. Endemic does have the inside track on this circle, so E United has to make a move. They've got to get somebody down at some point, so that way they can push into this. Something is still down off the side of this, but now Wolf holding that point position right back behind the tree. It's going to come down. Is he aware from it? Drew's still holding down, trying to draw as much attention as he can. Everybody from Endemic is looking up, and that's allowing the other 2 members from E United to reposition.
I love this play.
Stabs going back around behind this.
Look at
this. Get the shots off to one side of it. Wolf doesn't go down yet, but it's going to be Shrew that goes down. Stab and Balefrost now have to figure out what do we do from this point as it is turned into a strong 2v2. Actually, 2v3 as Wolf does get the meds back up.
I love the reposition from E United there. Unfortunately, not getting it down. Shrew did flush his kill instead of going for the second knock, but it looks like Stab's actually sticking the res on Shrew right now.
Reload going now back behind it, taking exactly what E United was trying to do to them. Wolf just got Balefrost pinned right back behind that tree.
They got the res.
But yeah, they did get the res back over towards it. Grenade's going to come through. Actually, it's going to be a smoke. It's going to land right up next to Wolf. So Wolf going for that aggressive position. Balefrost is still playing back behind this.
Reload and Crispy are trying to clear out Bale here.
Do they know exactly where he's at? I don't think so. Spray comes out. Oh my God. Damage onto one. Tries to go for the flush on the other one. Reloads on Nero. No.
Oh my God.
That's going to be another down coming up from Balefrost. It's starting to turn up super in E United's favor as they move up to 10 kills. Looking back around, it's just going to be Wolf. Got to be very, very cautious on this as he is inside the smoke, trying to play around this. Look at E United starting to get more and more control over the circle. They're on the hunt. They know he has to be around smoke. Gets sprayed back over towards it, but E United walks away with 12 kills.
And that's what we wanted to see from E United all day today. I love that reset, mid-team fight. I mean, Bale doing that flank, and again, just waiting patiently. Stab coming all the way back for the, Stab coming all the way back for the Reds there. Absolutely huge in that team fight.
That's why I love watching hill fights, watching people reposition around and be able to do those crazy flanks. And True, up on top of that rock.
bought so much time for that flank.
So big on that. Sure, he went down inside of it, but he got
He did his job. He did his job.
Sometimes you just have to say, all right, I'm going to do this, and I'm just going to be as loud as I can and make everybody look at me. And he still managed to get res back off of that. After he did, yeah. I don't know what was going on inside of that, but E United, they said that they were going to be pushing today, and they walk away with a round win on top of it.
I mean, finally, Game 6, they're smiling. That's something I've been wanting to see all day today, but